Welcome to Dreamers to Leaders, Keeping It Real with Melody podcast. Melody is a born dreamer who started from being a flight attendant and worked her way up into now a tech fashion trendsetter, thought leader, and seasoned entrepreneur in multiple successful ventures. This podcast is for the awakened dreamer. Industry icons will share their humble beginnings up to the leaders they are today. Let's all learn and be inspired. Together, we can all prosper.
Hello and welcome to the Dreamers to Leaders podcast. It's the podcast for the dreamers and, more importantly, the doers. I'm your host, Melody. Today we have a special guest, a classic dreamer who turned her dreams, her ideas into reality, following her passion and with much determination. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Letty Cabrera-Calvo. Hi, Letty. Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. So let's get started. If you could share with our audience more about you and your one-of-a-kind product.
So, like you said, my name is Letty Calvo, and about 7 years ago, I created a one-of-a-kind product that was completely new to the beauty industry, and it solved a very common problem that we all had when we did our makeup, which was how to use one brush, but use multiple colors. How do you quickly remove color from the brush? So out of that frustration and typically using, paper towels or your PJ pants, whatever you had in front of you to quickly clean your brush, I created Color Switch, which was a dry way to remove color from your brush by simply rotating it around this magical sponge called Color Switch. And then you could easily switch to another color. And the product has now been, it's kept us in business for now 7 years. And it's in major retail stores like Sephora and Morphe. And it's
Wow.
We love it. And we've designed other products since then. But this is our original baby right here, the Color Switch.
You wouldn't believe it, but I still have the product that you gave away in our class. Was it incubated there? Was it incubated during the startup venture?
Yes. So it started at LMU with Professor Choi in his class, and we had to come up with a business idea, which either a product or a service. And during the class, that's when I developed Color Switch.
Oh, that's so wonderful. So from ideas to actually holding the product, and as you said, it's one of a kind. How was that journey like, Letty?
Well, in the beginning stages, for example, we were able to make a prototype really quickly because I kind of had the concept in my mind exactly how it would work. We just had to find different materials to make it look beautiful and make it easy to use. And it took just me really going online and outsourcing different materials from different suppliers, making a prototype. And then once a prototype was made, then I could easily go to manufacturers, present it, get quotes, and move into manufacturing, which we did fairly quickly.
How long was that journey, and were there a lot of pushbacks? How was that? How was that experience like for you?
I want to say it happened really in 3 to 6 months.
No way, really? That's awesome. That's remarkable.
Now it takes longer when we're creating new products because the process is a little different and you look at it in different angles. When you start a business and you really don't know what you're getting yourself into, you just go for it without any fear, without any evaluation, whether the product's going to sell well or not. You have a dream, you have an idea, so you just go for it. So it was really quickly because I was able to source the different suppliers and manufacturers here in the US. So the turnaround time, the lead time was very quickly.
Did you have any background in terms of, being in the beauty business, beauty industry? Did that help at all?
Yes and no. It helped because it provided the background to even understand why there was a need for the product. But as far as sourcing the materials and manufacturers and suppliers, it just came from being persistent. I think you mentioned, did you get pushback? Yes, I did. I got quite a bit of pushback because I only wanted to buy small quantities, didn't want to produce 5,000 units. So what helped was that I was able to source the different products, for example, the sponge, the tin, the box that it came in from different suppliers, and kind of negotiate smaller quantities. And that really, it didn't really have to do with my experience in beauty. It just kind of had to do with just being persistent.
Did you have to self-fund the whole startup cost, or did you have to pitch and seek investors for your venture?
We didn't seek investors, but we did have a funding campaign with friends and family, and we raised about $3,000 with friends and family. And with that amount of money, we were able to start the business.
That's remarkable. That is amazing. So friends, families, and they say it's a joke, friends, families, and the fools are the three F's that help, right? Especially in your case, it's like blind faith that it's going to work out, especially with a product that has never been introduced in the market before. So in terms of marketing, again, it's unique, it's one of a kind, never been introduced in the market, nothing like that at all when you started. How was that journey in introducing your product to the market in general?
Well, we were very fortunate in the fact that when we launched, it was around 2013, and it was around the same time Instagram became very popular. And if you were a brand that started around that time, and on top of that, you had a very unique product, you were able to go in there, post about the product, and see immediate results. There were no algorithms. There was nobody buying ads. It was true organic growth. So we were just at the right place at the right time. So we were on social media.
Did you have to align yourself with influencers and do affiliate marketing, all that? What was the...
So we did align ourselves. First of all, I didn't even know there was a beauty space or community within Instagram. I had my little Instagram account, friends and family, and somebody told me, there's a huge beauty community in Instagram. And I said, really? They said, why don't you start sending samples to these bloggers? And mind you, a lot of these bloggers that are now multi-millionaires and at the time were just starting, you could send them product. And they would post for you, and they wouldn't charge you, especially because they knew that you were a new brand and you were just looking to partner up with them and grow each other, help each other grow. So I connected to the beauty community. I opened a Vera account on Instagram, and I started looking up PO boxes for these influencers. And it just so happened that I sent it to the right one. She's a friend of mine now. Her name's Letty. And she posted a short video of using the color switch. I mean, all she did was take a look at how this works. Within minutes, our website was inundated with orders. We were receiving emails from wholesalers wanting to purchase the product. So it literally took one person that had a really engaged following to launch us into that space.
As they say, sometimes all you need is that one thing, right? That one thing that could really make a difference with your company. Did you develop a strategy to learn from your target market, or it was just really your own instinct and your own personal struggles and experience?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think from the beginning, since it happened so fast, just to give you an idea of how quickly it all happened, our website was up December of 2013. In January, I send out samples to these bloggers, and then by mid-January, we can't keep up with the amount of requests that are coming in for wholesale and then retail, and so we never had time to stop and say, let's plan this out. My husband and I just had to go. We just had to fulfill orders, requests, answer emails. So we never could really sit back and really study who was buying our product. It's actually something that we are doing now in retrospect, because we want to continue to grow and create more products that are like the color switch. So at the beginning, there was no strategy. We were just go, go, go.
So now, at the stage of your business, are you doing anything in terms of building that follower, having that campaign or strategy to make sure that you keep having those loyal followers?
Yes, definitely. I think we do a pretty awesome job on our Instagram. We have a program where we send out PR packages to micro influencers who can create content for us. So it's a win-win. They get, free product they can try out. And in exchange, they create a beautiful tutorial for us. We repost that. Now we have their followers engaged, our current followers engaged. But we are now drilling down even more on how to engage our customers even more. What do they really want to see from us? So it is something that we're looking into even more now, but it is something that we've always, known that is, it's extremely important. They're the people that keep us going.
Right. So with your journey, what would you consider to be your proudest moment as an entrepreneur?
I think, hands down, I think when we first started, and that day that I'm telling you where that the blogger posted, and all of a sudden we went from having 70 followers on our Instagram account to having 5,000 in one day.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was insane in one day.
It went viral. So that would be, I would fit that in the definition of viral.
It was definitely viral. And what made me, it like brought me to tears was to read people's comments and people would say, where was this all my life? I've needed this all my life. What is this? What is it? What kind of magic is this? Like, I should have thought of this idea. It's so simple, but it solves a problem. So just reading all those comments, like even now just makes me tear up to think that I resonated with so many people,
That is,
I think for me was my proudest moment for sure. We've had others that are amazing. Getting into big retailers, of course, has been amazing, like Sephora and Morphe. So that as well.
huge.
But just that initial validation was awesome.
So in terms of like advice that you received, growing up, leading up to where you are today, is there a particular advice or advices that you received that you feel really has resonated and has helped you?
There's definitely been, things that I've picked up on the way from, friends and family. Just growing up, my parents just very supportive, always. I just never in my mind didn't think that I could succeed in anything that I did. My parents were so positive in that sense. Just my father specifically just could always tell me, as long as you work hard, as long as you go to school, you can accomplish anything. So that always was something that pushed me forward. And then when I started my business, a friend said, make sure that every day you do something towards accomplishing your goal of creating this business. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to do everything one day, as long as you can check off one thing off the list every day. So that was really important. And then I clearly remember Professor Choi saying, if you're going to, launch a new idea, launch it. Never fear somebody stealing your idea and that fear holding you back. So that always kind of stayed with me, especially because a lot of people that want to start a new business, they kind of, I think, hide behind trying to make everything perfect before they launch it. And that fear, I think, just holds you back. And it's not really that you want to make it perfect, it's just you're scared to take that leap. So
True. And as they say, we have to strive for progress, not perfection. And sometimes it's even the enemy of progress if you're like seeking that proverbial perfection, right?
you put it in perfect words. Yes, definitely.
In terms of like advice to your 18-year-old self, going through what you went through, knowing what you know now, what would you say to your younger self?
I think for sure I would tell myself, regardless of how amazing of an opportunity you have, know that there will be struggles. Because I think for us, the way we started our business is completely opposite of how other people start. Other people start a business and it slowly grows and you invest a lot of money and it finally, boom, it's a hit. And with us, it was completely opposite. It started as a hit. It started as something amazing. And if I would have told myself, hey, you know what, there's still going to be struggles ahead, I could have prepared for that. Because then when there were struggles, it was harder felt, if that makes sense. So I would probably just tell myself that even though you might have an amazing opportunity, coming your way, know that it's not always going to be perfect, and you have to continue to work at it.
I agree. I so agree. You mentioned about support, from your family and growing up, knowing that you can do anything. I think that's a good message for all our followers out there that, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless of age or what have you, as long as you have, a lot of passion, dedication, and determination, that anything is possible. I mean, just hearing your story, that pretty much embodies kind of, that type of journey.
I agree. I mean, 100%. I think the foundation that you're given at home by your parents is obviously what really sets you up to succeed in most cases, not saying in all, but specifically in my case, I think I had the optimal setup and support system at home to help me get to where I am. I think my parents made me blind to any discrimination because I'm Latina, because I'm a woman. They completely kind of put sunshades in my eyes and blocked all of that. So they never made that a point. So I never thought of it. When I worked in the corporate world, I never felt like I couldn't apply for a certain position because I'm a woman or because I'm Latina. I never felt that way. And I think because I didn't have those preconceptions, it kind of removed the fear.
Was never projected in you, in your DNA.
Not to say that doesn't exist, not to say that I may have been discriminated and never even noticed because I wasn't looking for it. Maybe I just turned a blind eye to it and said, I'm still going to go for it anyway. But I think, I don't know if you want to call it naive or just optimistic or a little bit of both, but I'm glad that I did not grow up thinking that I couldn't do it because of a characteristic of mine, if that makes sense.
So, being a female entrepreneur, I think we get it a lot where people would ask and say, "Hey, what is it that you do, or how do you prioritize? Any time management hacks that you could share with our audience, especially the women out there who's trying to venture into, a business or two."
It's not easy. I mean, there's no way around. When you have a business, you are glued to, if it's important to you, you're glued to your phone, you're glued to your computer. You especially depending on how you are. Like, for example, my husband and I, both run the company, but we have different styles. I want to put out a fire immediately. I don't even want to plan for it. I want to just do it. And he has more of a laid back, let me look into this. Let me read the details, so we're a good combination in that sense, which I think is a good balance. So as far as time management, I kind of look to him and he looks at me like, it's enough. We've done enough today. You've done enough today. We're home. Let's be a family now. So it's hard to time manage because you want to do something all the time. You feel like if you're not doing something, then your time is not being used effectively.
Yeah. So from being a mom, being a wife, having kids. How many kids now?
Two, a 12-year-old and a 4-year-old.
So having kids, starting a business, and making sure that it runs well. How many team members or staff do you have now?
It's just my husband and I, and when COVID hit, we had to lay off a couple of employees, and we're still not fully backstaffed, but we're hoping that by the beginning of next year we are, but we outsource a lot of what we do. So we don't have the need of having a big staff. Luckily, it's just my husband and I now, and hopefully we can go back to normal at the beginning of the year.
So speaking of COVID, anything in terms of maybe tips that you could share to help small business owners, any business owner, entrepreneurs out there to cope and survive this pandemic?
Well, for us, we got hit very hard because a large portion of our business is wholesale. And when retailers shut down, there was no business for us, So I think being able to quickly pivot and think about how could we, increase our sales on our website. And that's what, direct to consumer, we did that and that helped. And then now that we had all this free time on our hands, I could develop more products. So in the last few months, I've developed or have concepts for at least another 6 or 7 products, which last year I was only able to develop 2. So instead of sitting there and being upset or thinking this is over, quickly pivoting and trying to figure out how are we going to save the business? What do we need to do? And we did it, luckily, and so far, so good.
So for being our beauty guru, what would be your tips for the women on the go? Some makeup tips or some beauty hacks that you could share with our audience?
So specifically now, that we don't necessarily wear makeup every day, or we don't go out very much, or if we do wear makeup, it's very light coverage. For me, for example, I developed a new product. Sorry for all that noise. Now we can't touch our hands, right? I touch our face. We're instructed that that's probably not a good idea. So I developed a product where when you need to touch up your makeup, specifically around the eyes, because if we're out and about and we're wearing our little mask, our eyes are what's exposed. I created a tool called the Blotsy, and it's like a quick way to just blot away any excess makeup and fix all those little lines or creases that happen when makeup settles.
Uh-huh.
So I carry this in my car, I carry it in my purse, and every time I park and I'm about to get off to go somewhere, see someone, I grab my Blotsy and I immediately, blot away any excess oils. So having a little tool like that helps you kind of refresh your makeup is something that, I and if I don't want to wear a lot of makeup, I typically will put on like a nice moisturizer, and I like to have like that little JLo glow. I mean, who doesn't want to have a JLo glow? And just put a little bit of
Bronzer.
A bronzer. You can use a bronzer. You can use like a highlighter that's very close to your skin tone. So I'll use like a golden highlighter, and I'll kind of just dab my face and a little bit of lip gloss, and I feel like I look decent.
There you go. So if there's 3 things, so you have a small purse, right? Or you have a small mini bag, and and you want to put as much essentials there. What would be your 3 major things that you want to make sure that you don't leave home without?
Definitely something that has color for my face, whether it's a nice eyeshadow palette that has like a couple colors that I can use for my eyes and for my cheeks. So like a small little, 4 or 5 color eyeshadow palette. I'll definitely have my color switch so I can switch my colors quickly. And now I'm like so addicted to the Blotsy that I have to have that in there with me, because as you get older, makeup tends to settle a lot in those little fine lines. So just having this to fix it, amazing.
It's called the Blotsy. Blotsy. How'd you come about with that? That's a cute, catchy name.
Thank you. It was that I found myself always doing this number, like fixing my makeup like this, because it would settle in the creases. whether you're younger or you're older, we all have creases in our face, around our eyes. And just when the makeup settles and you want to fix it, but you don't want to take it off.
So it helps even out the texture of your face, which I think is important. Now, campaigns, anything that you're doing, as you said during the the pandemic, you used that wisely to develop more products. Anything out there that your followers need to watch out for?
Well, definitely the Blotzy is launching in the next few months. So that is one of our new products. Pretty soon on our website, you'll be able to buy lashes and eyelash curlers. So just like essential things that we like to buy on a regular basis, that is something that we're adding to our website very soon. And I'm also developing a hair tool that is for curly or wavy, wavy hair. I'm developing a tool for wavy or curly hair, and it's a way to dry your hair without any heat, and just have extra bounce to your curls. So that's upcoming, probably 2021.
That is super nice. So how do you do that? If you could just give us a little bit of a sneak peek on that technology. If there's no heat, is just cold air or just air?
No, it's more of a towel, but it's going to have a very special feature in it that really does not exist in any beauty space or hair or in the hair industry. So it's definitely different. All my retail partners are very excited about the tools, as I am, and just figuring out how to make this new tool has been definitely difficult because it doesn't exist. So that's the struggle that you deal with when you're trying to stay innovative or be innovative, is trying to find those factories that are willing to take that risk and make something that hasn't been made before. So
Right.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
I remember. I think in one of our conversations, you mentioned something about going through different jobs and career paths, so on and so forth, and you're just very happy to land into something that you truly love. So going to that passion, how did you come about knowing that this is it for you? What was that journey like to find out really what clicks with you?
Well, for me, I think stepping out of my comfort zone, which was going back to school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't go into the LMU program thinking I want to become a product developer or nothing like that. What I knew is that I did not love what I did. And I wanted to go back to school to try to help me figure out, to find that passion. Now that I look back at all my life and what would keep me up at night, it was developing products. I mean, I would go to sleep thinking, God, if this company would just buy this idea from me, I would become a multimillionaire. And I did. I pitched ideas to different companies, like sent them letters and sent them, not knowing that I was giving away free information for products. They weren't going to contact me. They were just going to develop the product. But that's what kept me up at night. And I didn't know that could be a career. I didn't know that you could hone into that and make it your own. I just thought, I have this great idea, have somebody else make it. But it doesn't work like that. If you have a great idea, no one else is going to truly, develop and build that idea like you are, because only you are in your brain. Only you know the details and intricacies of that idea. So that's another good tip for anyone trying to develop a product and being scared of somebody stealing your idea. People are not inside your head. They can't truly have the same kind of passion you do. So never let that, hold you back.
I just can't remember the Japanese term, but there is that term, and maybe I'll post it somewhere here in this episode. I just can't remember it, but it's basically saying that the path to happiness is finding your purpose, right? And in order to find that purpose, you have to look for what what you're drawn to. So in your case, it's that beauty product. It's kind of coming up with a solution to that hassle and inconvenience that you are experiencing. So what are you drawn to and what are you absorbed with, And those would be clues in order to find out kind of what clicks with you and what your passion is, and just follow that, right? And I think it was Oprah that said, passion is energy. Feeling the power of what excites you, is something that would really propel someone from here to there, right? To level up. So, any final words for our dreamers out there who have a passion for something and maybe just need a nugget or two to inspire them?
I would definitely say if there's something that keeps you up at night, if there's something that you're constantly thinking about, that is the universe telling you that that is what you are meant to do here. That is your purpose. And don't let anyone or anything, stop you, because the last thing you want is to be 95 and think back, what if I would have done that? I want to get to 95 and think, I tried it, it failed, it sucked because it failed, but you know what? I'm not going to be left with the what if. I'm going to try to do everything that I can so that when I get to that age, I know that, you know what? I did it all. 50% worked, the other 50 didn't, but I'm happy.
Yes. So basically, it's solving that mystery regardless, right? Versus having that what if, which sucks. Which would suck, right? Anyway, I so thank you for your time and wishing you continued success, Letty. So proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Thank you for inviting me, and to all the dreamers, keep dreaming. We need dreamers in this world to keep us happy, to keep us alive, and to keep us going. And thank you for doing this. It really means a lot.
So for all the dreamers out there, keep believing. You got this. And for all those who haven't registered, don't forget to vote. Thank you.